Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Well, what happened last week? Quite a lot actually. Obviously, last week we were trading around this region towards the middle of this range, which I have drawn out between like 35.3 and 80 or 33.5 or 38, depending on where you have the wick on your pair. So keep that in mind. From there, we had this quick fall and sweep of this wick low here from last week, and from there on out we basically started rallying like crazy. And at this point everything looked quite well. People were expecting, I mean me included, were expecting at least a sweep of this level. We did go to like 38, which was the high on the spot pair, but we didn't quite sweep it on especially not on the perpetual pairs. From there on out, we basically retraced the entire move the next day. We did find some support down at like the initial consolidation of this leg up, and from there on out basically we rallied. On Friday we had this big wick here. It was like a 1k candle in 5 minutes. Was mostly a lot of shorts closing, and from there on out during the weekend we kind of grinded back up, and now we're here above the mid-range of this entire range. What's interesting is also that we did reject again on this high time frame resistance, which I have drawn out across this candle. So 37.3 and 40-ish is approximately my main area of interest on this higher time frame. So I think as long as we are trading below here, it will be rather choppy and it will act as some form of resistance. But overall, I'm hoping to see this move up back to the range highs and hopefully take this wick as well on the perpetual pair. And I mean, if we can keep the momentum going, it should be possible to tag that 40k level. But it's really, it can depend on a lot of factors. I mean, this candle before the close on Friday here was like a 1k candle, but it was mostly just sparked by, I think, a tweet by Eric Balkunas, or I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name. Basically, the one of the two ETF guys that have been keeping us up to date with all the progress on the ETFs. And he tweeted something that there was some progress being made with these ETFs, which was encouraging. Obviously, that wasn't like a big thing on its own, but I mean, price moved up a bit upon it, and then a lot of shorts just closed out and got squeezed. I think also because it was around the close on Friday, people were probably seeing price go up and then just randomly longing or closing their shorts because they thought maybe the ETF would have been approved or something like it. So all that just fueled like this big squeeze up, and but it does show how quick price can move, especially when there's some encouraging signs or anything, and especially after you've just had such a sell-off and then consolidation, a lot of shorts are in, and you get this kind of squeezes. Obviously, the same happens on the downside. To easily journal and track your trades, consider trying out Coin Market Manager. It's as simple as connecting your exchange API to the website to get your analytics ready. Sign up using the link below, get a 14-day trial, and I hope you really enjoy it. I know I've been using it for a while and I can't go without at this point. So yeah, there's definitely still a lot going on during this range, but overall, the most interesting thing here for me is that ETH has, obviously it retraced the ETF filing, which was something I was saying, I was expecting, like it retraced most of it. But from there on out, I mean, we're kind of seeing ETH grind up now, even though BTC is also going up a bit. So that's some strength from each side. Now I will say, preferably alts and ETH just chill out a bit for me. I would like to see it like not go crazy, because when ETH goes up, alts go up, and then BTC will have a hard time going up again because all the liquidity is in the alts. This is basically what caused both of these big flushes to occur, because alts were quite strong after the rally, and then from there on out they just failed to keep moving, and then BTC rolls over and everything gets squeezed. So yeah, that's something we don't want, obviously. So let's hope alts chill a bit, ETH can, or BTC can do its thing, and then we can move on from there. Then a few higher time frame charts I wanted to look at, which are all different. We have the total 3, total 2, and total. So what these mean is in total 3, you can see it up here. It's basically the total crypto market cap, excluding BTC and ETH. So what that means is basically literally every coin but BTC and ETH are included here. So we're gonna go through them all in a bit, but you can see when I quickly scroll through them already, like the total 1 is more bullish than the total 2, which is more bullish than the total 3. So this makes sense because during a bear market and all that kind of stuff, and also in the beginnings of the bull market, which I think we are starting to get in, alts just generally aren't that strong and they fall the most during the bear market. So in this case, we don't have BTC and ETH included here, which have obviously been the strongest during the bear. So with that in mind, we can see also during this bounce, sure, this was some nice gains, obviously, but it's really just showing how much this is still lagging behind things like BTC and ETH, for example. So this is still yet to break out of this range. I think the main level to watch here is 450 to 470 billion, and above there, I think we can start focusing more on alts, and I think they're gonna be stronger from there on out. But yeah, I think until then, it's probably BTC and ETH taking the spotlight, and we just have to be a bit more patient. But obviously, this is looking good on the higher time frames, and I think at some point we will see higher here. Total 2, this one is just excluding BTC, so ETH is included here. You can see this is already trading a bit higher relatively. So seeing this as the range high, I mean, this is only a little bit to go. And from here on out, I mean, this will be a nice breakout. From there on out, you can just start focusing on this move from 700 to 850 billion or something. And then going to total, so this is just the total crypto market cap. You can see this is basically the level you were watching on total 2 and total 3. We've already broken right through it. I mean, we've already done that in April this year, but we fell down again, but now we really broke through. And yeah, it's basically already trying to fill up that gap we were just mentioning on the total 2, which is basically this move. But yeah, you can see here, we're already trying to fill up that entire gap. So that just shows you how right now the market's still dominated by BTC. There's some changes, like Bitcoin dominance is coming down a bit, but like it's slowing, but it's still, you can see this has been just one giant uptrend since like September of 2022. So it's over a year where BTC has dominated the market. So I think this might have like one more leg in it upon the BTC approval, the ETF approval, if and when it comes. But I think after that, people are really gonna, and I think people are already looking through that right now. They're probably gonna be like, okay, sure. A good example, I think, is the ETH or the BTC fake approval. So once that happened, we obviously we had this huge candle here, which was like, here, which was like 10% on BTC. And ETH BTC moved down like 5% on it. So I think it's safe to assume, let's say, BTC moves up 20% on a real ETF approval, then ETH BTC is likely heading down like 10-ish percent, I think. And I think it's only going to be like a short wick. I think afterwards people will start allocating into alts. Might not be straight away, might be like a week after, but I think there will be a transition or a conversion people are gonna look for. And I think once that happens, or like before that happens, people might already start looking through that and start scaling in. So I think that is something we might be seeing now, where people are already thinking, okay, sure, we know what's going to happen. We also know that we do want to buy alts afterwards with our BTC, because that's probably what a lot of people are going to do. So we, like, especially if you're filling up big pockets, which is something not all of us have the luxury of having that issue, but let's say you have to fill tens or hundreds of millions, and you want to get in afterwards while everyone is doing it, obviously you're gonna have a hard time. So I think there's already some people that are scaling their BTC into ETH, but yeah, I do think this is gonna be due for one more week down upon the BTC approval. But afterwards, I think ETH will probably strengthen, and the same for most alts. I think alts will start outperforming BTC again for a while, but it might not be until like a few weeks or maybe even months, depending on what the price action is on BTC after the ETF. All right, then a few coins. Some of these were suggested by you guys on Twitter. Some of them I choose myself, like Link. I still think Link looks really good, and I think this has seen a nice consolidation, pretty clean, and it's probably like this has been my main target upon breaking out of this range. I think it's probably heading to like 18.5 to like the 20-ish area over time. Obviously, I mean, this is very high time frame chart, so we can still just chop around here for a while, you know, maybe it does something like this, and then probably cools down a bit here. Obviously, if you break higher here, we can target higher, but yeah, that's basically the thing I'm looking at. Then fetch, I'm mainly taking this because it's just been really strong the past few days. It's almost breaking its yearly highs already, so that's pretty insane. And yeah, I think these AI coins are still showing how strong they are and how much of a hot topic AI is. I would assume at some point they chill out a bit because the narrative has been going on for so long now. But I mean, just ride the trend as long as you're seeing it being strong, right? So obviously I wouldn't be buying here like right against his yearly highs. Maybe for all I know, it just shoots through. But definitely one of the stronger coins, and usually stronger coins tend to keep outperforming. So yeah, keep an eye on that, and kind of crazy how much this has been moving. Then a coin suggestion was PYR. I think this coin looks super similar to Link. So also here, obviously this gap between Link was a bit higher. Um, I don't think this has consolidated in this range for like 1.5 years, only to make a move like, yeah, what is 50 or 30% depending where you measure it. So overall, I think this on the higher time frames, this should be moving up higher. I think upon breaking like 7.7, I would be targeting like 11 here. Pretty straightforward target. These kind of levels are very similar to the 37.3 and the 40 on BTC. If I go back, you can see how this is kind of similar. That's how I like drawing these horizontals, like right before a consolidation or these clear daily candles, and then when a huge move happens from there, that's a pretty logical place to look for these support levels or resistances in this case. So yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I mean, obviously you want to see it break this, and then you can look to fill up this gap up here. And with these, I would just play it level by level and zoom out, because you can see, I mean, if you're trading this lower time frame or anything, you have these like even 20% moves, 25%, 30%. This is gonna shake you out if you're trading a lower time frames. Well, if you just held spot, let's say you bought like the range lows or the range breakout even, and you just hold some spot and you just chill, don't look at it too much, then this is just a very comfy ride. And it's the case on a lot of these coins, but they try to shake you out on the lower time frames, which can really throw you off. Next chart is Radiant. I hold some of this. It's Arbitrum ecosystem coin as well. And yeah, I hope this will kind of catch up a bit. I mean, it was doing okay before and then kind of slow down again. So let's see how this will do. Ideally, this trades above like 30 cents again, and then from there on out, it looks a lot better. Because right now, this is still a bit like it's in this range. It's a bit choppy. It's below the daily 200 MA and EMA. So ideally above 30 cents, but I mean, it's not that far up. And above there, I think it would look a lot better. And then you can start looking for these horizontals. Like 30 cents first, then like 34, and then from there on out, like this is a pretty nice move from here. So I think you could even just consider a trade upon flipping 34 cents and then trading it to like 43. So yeah, that's kind of how I just look at all these coins. And once again, zooming out makes everything so much easier, because there's no doubt we're trending up on basically everything, but these lower time frames will really chop you up and throw you out, especially if your trading is on high leverage or anything. Yeah, it will just try to take you out or shake you out, or even if it's just time based. Like sometimes these things can just. I'm not sure if I can find a good example on any of these coins. Yeah, I think maybe for example here on Link. Oh, I don't want to draw. Like this area, this was just few like 2 weeks of sideways, and it's just choppy and not going anywhere. And then on all these wicks down, you're probably thinking like, okay, now it's gonna roll over. Now it's gonna roll over. But it just keeps going sideways. And even though the market structure didn't change, I mean, you had this breakout and then consolidation, and obviously this was followed by a huge leg up afterwards. But I think a lot of people got shaken out here, just thinking, okay, it's either gonna fall or it's not gonna happen anymore. And that's really what these kind of markets do with you, because we're not like full on bull market just yet, but it's just I mean, we're trending up, but it's not like instantly. So it's not like you buy and next day you're up 30%. No, sometimes if you buy in like the beginning of a consolidation, you might not even go down that much, but it might just let you wait for like a few weeks and have these wicks and stuff that can catch you off guard. So keep that in mind in this kind of market. And then the last coin suggestion was Say. There's obviously also a layer one. I think it's one of the newer coins, and I think these newer coins do have a good chance of running. I mean, this has obviously already made quite a big run. Big level here is like the 17 cents area, because you can see here was basically here the range high. We have these touches here, and then we rejected here. So yeah, I mean, I treat this as like a huge kind of range with a deviation below here. Obviously, it's not super clean, and these horizontals tend to work okay-ish, but obviously you have these kind of wicks that are going like right above or below it to shake everyone out. I think if this flips here, and we can just look for basically the listing highs. I wouldn't take the initial wick, but I think this would be I think this could be a nice trade actually. We've seen before how these newer coins, then once they kind of break out of their market structure or they start trending, they can just keep going for a while. So especially the kind of way this is moving up, like this curly formation with a lot of chop in between, usually those tend to be quite strong, even though they're like very hard at getting or giving you an entry or anything like it, because they can also look kind of scary. Same thing here, like obviously it had a huge drawdown here, but this kind of price action, like good luck getting in here. Like at some point you just have to buy, but every now and then you have these and it feels like they're just gonna completely rock you, kind of similar to what Jörn just did. Obviously this was I think manipulated in a way where people were pushing it up intentionally, then they just filled shorts, distributed, and then pulled the rug. But yeah, this is kind of the thing you have in mind, like this happening every time you see and I have to go back, every time you see this kind of price action. And that's also the bear market PTSD, which is still in people's head for a long time. But yeah, so keep that in mind. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you find it useful. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked it and you want to stay up to date with everything. If you're looking for an exchange, check out Bybit, Prime XPT below. And yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed. I wish you all a great week ahead, and take care.